Hello and welcome back to Planet Zoo. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're ready for yet another build episode. And by build episode, I mean design the habitat at regular speed episode, because I'm going to ignore the gardens for now. Just think that there is garden, okay? Help me with your imagination. There is garden, even if it doesn't look like it. For those of you who skipped the last episode, I'm gonna show you our new quarantine center over here. As you can tell, I just plopped down two basic buildings and then went for a few small quarantine areas for the animals. We're not gonna use them, but we can pretend that we use them. Also more flowers, yeah, just more flowers. So today we're going to get started with this habitat. And we are doing wolves, so first things first. Let's just take a look at the wolves in the Zoopedia in case I forgot something. Timber wolves. So we need a grade 2 fence over 1.25 meters. That's not going to matter because we have those fancy. And we can use taiga, temperate, and tundra plants. And we can have up to 12 animals. And yeah, there's only going to be one alpha male and one alpha female. So yeah, actually it's pretty cool because we can have an even amount of males and females without issues. Okay, let me just add everything. I love how it actually counts these little things as habitat. Even though there is no habitat. Like, the game is very much like, oh no, this is habitat. So yeah. This is the space that we're going to use for our wolves. Now, this is, I think, 4,000 square meters of land area. Yes, 4,700. And about the same amount of water area with a pretty deep average water depth. But, you know, since people can't look down there anyways, that doesn't really matter. And as you can tell, that is stuff from the new update. We have our own water tool now, which tells us the water temperature, the water area, the water depth, the color of the water. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Just look at that. We can do like deep blue ocean. Just I'm actually going to stick with that, I think. Because some of you might think that the color looks unnatural. It's not really. I mean, this is unnatural. Piece of Cheeto. You could do so many cool things with this, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with this nice. I think that'll work. Give me just a second. I think my voice doesn't like talking today. Okay, here we go. Oh, good. So now that we have our shiny blue water, and yes, that water can be like this in real life. So we're actually going to go into terrain design. Now, I do want to keep this mostly similar to the other I want to keep it, you know, similar to the main theme. So I'm not going to do what I would usually do for wolves, which would be this very, very big open sort of middle of nowhere forest thing. Instead, we're actually going to go for a very fancy, well-kept looking thing. I know that description tells you absolutely nothing, but that's fine. First, let's just get our timber wolves. Yes, alright. Is this still bugged? Because I think it's still bugged, isn't it? Okay. Sometimes the market is a little buggy right now. Like, you can see there's no actual filter button, so just like wait and see and hope that it works. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna adopt for 8, a full 12 animals. Nope, no. There we go. Because that's the amount that we can have. And it's a very, very large area. I know that the water makes it look like it's pretty small. It's not. Why am I doing it this way? Okay. Like, It's actually a pretty big space, obviously. It will be more than enough space for 12 wolves. I think they said that they need about 1,162 square meters, which is, you know, a lot, but they're not going to go up to 4,000 just because of this. Temperatures are also going to be fine. They shouldn't ever have an issue with those. So let's get started by actually taking a look at what we can do nature-wise. So that's temperate taiga and tundra for... Let's just stick to Europe for now. We all know I'm going to add flowers from other climate zones, but I do want to keep this relatively in touch with the actual habitat would look. And since a big part of this is the... Oh my god, the stones are still here. This is cool. It's a big part of it is the lake. We are going to start with the lake. So I want to do a mixture of tempered rocks and moss. Where is it? They call it moss in here. Yes, champion moss. Okay. And a mixture of this moss to sort of create a nice outline for the zoos. Like, hello. You're going to be happy in here, huh? Yes. I just put animals in here usually when I build, you know, to have a rough idea of how badly I'm doing something wrong. So now this is just going to be the I'm placing rocks episode, I guess. I would like to do an island in the middle that is mostly made up of rocks, which is why I'm doing so many rocks right now. So, because once again, like, these animals have a lot of space here. And I think it would look pretty cool if we could have like a little island thing in the middle. It's gonna look a little weird now because I'm just smashing a couple of rocks next to each other, right? But I need to get an idea of how many rocks I need and how well it's gonna work. And then we're actually gonna make this look like more than just 10 rocks next to each other, hopefully. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna do this very, very roughly. So that the animals can sort of jump on there, climb on there, swim on there, whatever. And they have their little island in the middle. And I'm just gonna have a couple of flowers on there or something. Not the most creative thing to do, I suppose, but it's going to be. Now the main issue is that it has to look like it's floating, right? Like, has to look like I didn't just pop a couple stones down. Even though that is the case. So we're going to have to add, obviously. I don't want to do a real island. I know that I could be doing that, but I prefer it this way. I don't really know why, but yeah. I was considering putting a pavilion of sorts onto this island. If once before with a tiger habitat and it looked really, really nice. But perhaps I'm gonna leave this as more of a plain habitat with just plants, you know. Should also work really well. Not look that weird. I don't know. And there. So, you know, I'm just slowly using rocks around it to lower those around, like into the water around the corners. So that we have this idea of, okay, there's some actual like rocks there and it's actually getting smaller and, you know, the stuff that we want it to look like. Rather than someone just popped a lot of stones in the middle. Even though that's probably what it is going to look like. I mean, that's literally what I did. I'm not the most creative with stone design. I do admit that. Like, don't expect me to do anything good with stones because I won't. It's stones, they're not my material. Plants, I can do. Stones usually ends up looking a bit odd. That's okay. This habitat can have its odd little bits. As long as the animals can get onto it, that's actually my main issue. And then we can do like, you know, bits like this where we have rocks around the area that the animals could maybe even jump over to. I don't really know the jumping strength of wolves. But we're gonna figure that out. But yeah, like the basic idea would be to have like multiple little paths for them to get onto the island. I'm not sure if that fits very well with the weird classical theme that I'm going with. I don't know if the classical people had little rocks swimming around in their legs. Probably not, but I wanted to like find a nice way to use the space. And I felt like this would probably work well. This is essentially what I would do with like ice floaties if this was a penguin habitat, but it's not a penguin habitat, so I'm not doing it. So instead we're just stuck with one big island that is somewhat of a circle. On good days, on bad days it's not even attempting to be a. It's obviously not flat, but that's okay, because this is just a little rocky island in the middle of the lake. It's not going to be flat. Who cares? A little way so that it's just like this rock, and then we have that rock, and you know, I'm not the most creative rock builder, I gotta admit that. But I just want to make sure that I have something for my animals that's worth navigating. You know, that's not just flat terrain. So this is why I have the wolfies here, by the way. I want to see if they can actually get on there. So let's do that real quick. Habitats. Yeah. Okay, so they can climb all over that. Pretty cool. Which means we have a... Why are you injured? Help! Someone needs to patch up the wolfies. But yeah, we're going to, you know, make that look a little prettier. So, now, normally, wolves would have caves. Normally, I would build a wolf a cave. I feel like with the theme we're going for here, caves don't really cut it. So we're going to build them a house. Yes. Am I going to be... I'm considering using brick. Yeah, I know. I don't usually use brick. I'm considering using brick. Well, I just stick to my breeze block. But I feel breeze blocks would be more neutral. So that might not be a bad idea. So I'm probably gonna do that. Let's be I have honestly no idea what this wolf shelter would look like. Like, I'm not even pretending that I know what a traditional shelter for wolves in a zoo would look like. Because I do not. So I'm just gonna build a square for now. I know, very, very creative. Just a big old square. Oh, it's floating, isn't it? Why are you floating? You know, maybe it's just sort of an old abandoned part of the park. Who knows? So this is the little bit of the cheaty part where we pretend that this has always been up here and nowhere else. I'm mostly going to be using glass over there probably so that visitors take a look inside the habitat. Just what the heck is going on? Just my wonderful building skills. So this is going to be our little wolf then. Sort of. I'm not quite sure if wolf den is the right word for this. It's not really a den, is it? Dens look. I have you. No, okay, the position's not. Why are you not straight? Doing? I just want columns here. But they don't look. Nope, they don't look different anyway. It's not really, so it's not worth it. Gonna have this little. Wait. I need to move it by like 0.5 millimeter because yeah, the whole thing. Can I move the group? Can I touch the group and move the group? Yeah, okay, because as you can probably tell, we're like in the barrier, which I don't want. I just right next to the but not. It didn't move. It didn't move. The millimeter. There we go. And then you. Perfect. Now let me just check if the wolves can get there. For the wolf. you guys think that some sort of cave would fit better, please tell me, because I don't know. I might also just change it halfway through, honestly, if I feel like getting a cave after all. But for now, I think like a little house would be cooler. I don't know. Definitely a little weird, but I feel like everything, like the general idea of the zoo, is just a little weird because like we have wolves here, so one, it's never gonna end up being completely normal. So who cares if it looks a little odd? I've done something similar for bears and it worked out really well with those, so now we never quite sure what I'm putting in the middle of these, like so do you just do flat roofs? Or do you do weird things? Or do you do another row? Not just gonna do a flat roof. No. It looks a little odd, admit that. Not my proudest roof. This roof would be so dangerous if it snowed. Maybe I shouldn't. I know that that's a weird concern, but coming from a region where you have to be concerned about snow, I am always concerned about snow. Like, if we had a roof like this at home, the roof would not exist anymore. I think that's all I'm gonna say there. I'm always a little concerned about the roof. Yeah, this roof would collapse. There we go. It's not a lot better. It's just a roof. Everyone's gonna be like, you spent 20 minutes on a roof and 5 stones. Yes. Spent 20 minutes on a roof and 5. You guys know me by now. This is the standard thing here. Isn't it? Please. So let's see if we can rate this place a little bit to make it look a little more classy and a little less chaotic. What about some, yeah, sure, let's do some fancy stone pillar columns here. This is the king's personal wolf collection. I didn't know that kings had wolf collections, but this king now has a wolf collection. Okay, no, I think doing full-on pillars would be a little much, but let's do this huge entrance gate. Just right here. Yeah, I don't think we have space for any of this, honestly, because our building just happens to be pretty small. Definitely not my fault, no. What happened to decorative thing? So we're gonna go ahead and decorate this place a bit once I've decided on how I want to. No, I think that these always work really well. I don't know why, but yeah, okay, sure. They are amongst my favorite parts to just snap onto building in far too great amount. Not the roof, the building. Maybe we do have to raise. But then the ground isn't raised. Can I just... Nope, I don't want the fan. Move. Probably put it like here. I think that would actually... One piece. Can I pick all of you up as one? Of course not. Some... Not. And I just noticed that these arrows... What? That too. No, just to be safe. Yeah, and then we can... Not sure why they're so low all of a sudden. Also not sure why we're... Yeah, I should have maybe considered that before I place the building. Building, you need to move a bit. I'm sorry, but you can't stay here. You're intruding in someone's private space. which you should not be doing. Don't trespass. Don't be a trespassing building. That's a bad idea. Okay, here we go. I think that's gonna work now. Yeah, you know what? That's okay. Gonna decorate that a bit. Let it... I hate you, terrain. So that it fits in. Reminds me a bit of Valheim right now because, except in Valheim this would work, and here it isn't working. Fine, don't do what I want you to. Why would you do that anyways? That was a stupid. Do I only have those two states? Is there no in between, no middle ground of not aggressively raised? Okay, okay, cool. Whereas yeah, I've been playing a lot of Valheim lately. Fun. And the building there is like, it's not an actual like, obviously it's not a building simulator in any way, shape or form, but Planet Zoo is also not a building simulator, and we all abuse it as building simulators, so you know. It's really fun actually. When you get past the part where everything tries to kill you, but that's nothing. And yeah, I just spent like 40 hours building stuff in Valheim. So I have to get used to a normal building system again. Valheim has this really cool building system that is actually, I don't want to say realistic because that would make it seem like, okay, Planet Zoo is building sim. Planet Zoo doesn't have realistic. I can call it realistic. Basically the idea is that you actually have to think about stuff like, wait, something is too heavy. Can't do that there. It's too heavy. You can't have a really heavy roof or basic wooden foundation. Can you please snap onto where I wanted you to? No? No, apparently not. Anyways, I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, for one, like, it's trying to be realistic, and that makes building really annoying sometimes, but it also means that it's fun. Well, let's just get our columns out for now. I still have to figure out exactly what I'm doing with this building. I have to figure out if it's straight or not. Planet Zoo build mode, why did you hate me so much? What have I done to you? Okay, there we go, that's close enough. It looks a little odd. Wolfies, do you like your new home? I hope you do, because that's all you're gonna get. So yeah, for nature we have to do the good old rocks around the lake. Obviously, because, I don't know, we always do rocks around the lake. But I'm just gonna... disperse these very carefully now. Do you guys think we should get another well? Like, another fountain? Another fountain for the wolfies? Do the wolfies also need a fountain? I'm one of those people who think that there's no such thing as too many fountains. I mean, there's only one here. We could have another fountain here. That's that the wolfies don't need a fountain. We have some really cultural wolfies who really love fountains. I don't know. It's so different from the last wolf habitat I made. And if you want to, you can check out my previous series where I build a really I'd like to call it pretty realistic rebuild of a forest. Mountainside forest thingy with wolves in it. Worked really well, and the wolves actually liked it. And there were so many plants. I think my PC wanted to come. It's super cool. But that's nothing new. That's always a thing when I build. Halfway through, my PC always goes, no, not again. And then I go, yes again. And then it just shuts up, because it shuts up. It's used my weird stuff by now. I love this rock. I always feel like placing it just looks weird. Like, no matter how you combine it, it looks weird. Maybe that's just me. But that's the impression I'm getting from this rock. Anyways, we do want like a area here, so I'm gonna finish that in this episode, which of course means that it's gonna be a bit longer, but you know, that's nothing new in this household. I only have like an average length of episodes to make sure that I don't upload 50-minute episodes. That's literally why I care. Because I know that that would be happening at some point if I was just like, oh yeah, just keep on recording and just press stop when you're done. I would just never press stop. We just have like 3-hour episodes. I don't think anyone wants that. Also, I know that I was like streaming at some point and then just stopped streaming. I'm gonna try to get back into it again. I just didn't really have the... I think time is the wrong word. I just didn't have the motivation to stream. But I'll hopefully come back to it soonish. Because streams are quite useful for like bigger projects. Not that I mind recording 153 episodes with me building this zoo, but you know what I mean, right? As I said in one of the previous comment sections, one day it's just gonna be like, hello and welcome back to episode 412 of Planet Zoo, where we build a habitat for the polar bear. Oh god, please no. Please no. I have to build a habitat for a polar bear and I only just realized. I mean, you know, this habitat would be too... Well, those of you who don't know the game, this habitat would be too small for a polar bear. Or at least if you wanted to have 2 of them, it would be too small. Because that's how polar bears work, and I think it's cool that it's like that realistic, but at the same time it's just the selection of plants you have is atrociously small. Everything is just gonna be dirt and gravel and stone and ice and water, like so much water, which is good now, or like a bit better since we have underwater plants and you can sort of decorate that, but still just so scary. It's like you're gonna have to do 6,000 square meters of bushes, like 3 different types of bushes and magnolias. No, not magnolias. I forgot what they were called. You'll see when we do it. There's one tree that you can technically speaking use for them, which is a tropical tree that just happens to be also classified as aquatic, so it's fine. That in and of itself is pretty fun in my opinion, but main point of what I'm trying to say is I don't like habitats for these animals. They're hard to work with, they're difficult to build, and you have like no selection. But we'll have to do it anyways, because polar bears are part of all animals. Okay, well I'm almost done with this at least. Probably not the most interesting thing I've ever done, but yeah, you know, the habitat needs its stone. Otherwise, it's just gonna look boring. And we can't have that. And I just think that having a lake without any like stone or flower decoration around it is suspicious. Because no lake would just not have anything around it, like literally none. So there we go, we have a surroundings for our lake. Yay. I'm like internally a little saddened about the fact that the stone isn't the exact same color as the walls of the habitats. The walls of the building, like it's different colors. But obviously there's nothing we can do. Alright, another plan is to go and grab the difference. This doesn't have flowers and this has flowers. Well, the flower moss, obviously. And to sort of fit it into the spaces. It's not going to be like a huge area with just moss, but the moss is basically just there to add a little more color to everything. You know, sometimes you might actually have it stand out like this, since it is sort of a rock part. A lot of times I'm just gonna squeeze it in to add some color to somewhere. I want more color, and it's a lot easier than planting plants. And it also looks a lot better around the water, in my opinion. because it's a lot more real. Like, yeah, you would have moss here. You wouldn't have 50,000 flowers here. I mean, there are going to be 50,000 flowers. We know that by now, but I can at least try to make it look a little more realistic at times. And yeah, sometimes I'll just have it like skip down like this. I'm not sure if underwater moss is a thing, but I don't really care. I have other worries. So for this one, just shape-wise. For most things, because it's not a... Yeah, cool. Because it's... Come on! Because it's not just a big round blob and actually has some sort of shape to it, which makes it a lot easier to work with. But like for some cases, this one here as well. Just push it back a little if there's too much, and then you're... There we go. So yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do around here. To add more color, make it look a little less like there's 1,000 stones and nothing else. Because that would be pretty boring, let's be honest. We all know that it would be. I do want the habitats to look like pretty, not unnaturally perfect, even though that's probably a good way to describe the peafowl habitat. But the peafowl habitat literally resembles a garden, it's fine. I just don't want everything to be like literally just a garden, so I'm sort of trying to mix it up a little. Whether that's gonna work out in the long run or not, will. Isn't that right, wolfies? Yes. Thankfully, wolves are animals that don't really care about the amount of foliage used, so you could definitely just download this from the workshop and use it for a habitat in any game mode without having to worry about the animals, you know, not liking the amount of foliage. I always try to have at least some habitats that would work out even without me playing in this different game mode, because I think that that's important. Also, before anyone asks whether we're gonna have 50 variations of stuff on the water, yes, we are going to. There's going to be just all the plants that I can pop down in the water. They're gonna be there. I don't know why I decided to do a habitat with this, like, this large amount of water for an animal that doesn't require water, but okay. Okay. Gotta work out somehow. I'll just have to figure out a way to make it look less weird. We'll be okay. But yeah, for now I'm just trying to add a nice amount of foliage in here. Obviously we're also going to be using cattails and all that. Yeah, so yeah, now we have this little like... I think we should have some moss up here as well. I mean, why not? Why shouldn't the island be surrounded by a few little bits of... No! I hate this. I swear I'm not always so stupid to misclick all the time, it just happens sometimes. That's what I said while misclicking repeatedly. Going to just look a little more like an actual island and a little less like I just punched a couple stones in the face, which is what it looks like right now. Going to be sort of like a fairy tale wolf habitat, just without the dying sheep. That's what I'm going for here. No dead sheep in this habitat. Just stones and green. And wolves. But no dead sheep. Thankfully, because otherwise we would have some issues as a zoo, I think. Okay. I finished this off. I think... Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty cute, doesn't it? I mean, there's not a lot to it right now, obviously. Since it's just stones and moss. Gonna have to do reeds. And we're gonna have all the, all the versions of water lilies that I can put in here. And all the versions of flowers that I can put in here, and oh, all the versions of cute little saplings that I can put in here. Just love saplings. And then it's completely useless because like they're just tiny bits of trees, but they're so cute. Pine saplings and oak saplings, and do I get more saplings? Saplings? Yep, beach sapling. We can have a beach sapling on the island. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, I think that's it for this episode. Now that we have this rough layout. Oh my god, it's 35 minutes. Okay, a long episode today. Well, we've got the basic layout done. And next episode we're going to do some more, you know, plant work. AKA, I'm going to spam the heck out of pink flowers. And then we'll, you know, see what else we can get for our little wolfies. And then I'm gonna do an episode where I do all the plants over here in a sped up version. Yeah, that's it for today. As always, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye!